seen the specter. Yes, I have been removed. I have seen the specter. He has been here too. I have been removed. I have seen the specter. He has been here too.
All right. Hey, look, I'm gonna jump right into this. I want to get in a couple of questions with today's guest, very special guest, actually the first entertainment guest since I kind of switched over to my little new setup and getting into what I really wanted to do on the channel, besides just talking about boxing shit that people just get upset about without knowing any of the details about. But anyway, without further ado, man, I say what's up to my man Nicholas Craven. Again, man, happy new year. You know, we chatted a little bit back and forth communicating and whatnot, man, but appreciate your time today. And like I said, I'm a huge production fan. I do love the MCs, but I think I don't think anything that they do is possible without you guys. So I don't think enough light gets on you guys, and I think also I'm hoping that other people have as much interest as I do in understanding how some of this stuff comes together and how you guys inspire the guys that show up on the top 5, all those types of arguments. You guys allow them to get there.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me.
All right, so I'm gonna jump around a little bit, but I mean, I want to focus on your 2020, which was absolutely phenomenal, by the way. But also, just to dig back into your history, man, how did you get started with beat making, production?
Did music my whole life, piano age of 6, guitar age of 9. And when I stopped doing guitar lessons at age 12, same time my friend's big brother showed me about MF Doom and Raekwon and sampling and Acid Pro and how to take a sample and make a beat out of it and put drums on it. And that was probably around 2006. And ever since like maybe 2007, I've been doing it every day, nonstop, and just trying to make more and more music and have a better and better catalog.
Do you remember your first beat?
Yeah, it was called Pulp Fiction. And it had the "What country you from?" Speech from Samuel Jackson.
Okay.
And yeah, I remember that was the first beat I made, and I didn't actually sample a soul song. I sampled a sample from a Ghostface song. Like I literally took the song, like the sample at the intro of a Ghostface song, and sampled that. And then I understood after that I should find my own samples.
So with that, once you get your first beat done, what was your takeaway from it? You know, because we work to be able to do things. We figure out how to do things. We gotta acquire, you know, whatever we need to get it done. Then we do it, and then we gotta see. You could have quit. You could have went to the next beat, or you know, what did you go through after making, you know, your first beat?
I went to the next beat because that beat sucked.
So how many before you started at this time? I mean, did you have anybody around you that was rhyming, or anybody else recording anything? Are you just doing this all solo?
Like right now, like I'm like 15, and it's like no one around me doing any type of hip hop of any kind. You know, I'm going to junior high, I guess it would be the equivalent in the States. And no, like I before that I had a rock group when I was like in elementary school, like end of elementary, like I had like a rock group, like playing guitar, playing like punk music. And I knew like I had a couple of friends that played instruments. Nobody rapped, nobody made beats except my friend's older brother and his friends. And I wasn't working with them at all or anything. You know, I was just at home making beats. And it took me probably I don't know, at least 20 beats till I made something, and I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. This kind of works. I could kind of maybe potentially see somebody doing something with this. And it took till like probably 2009 till I had a friend that wanted to do like a diss track against his ex-girlfriend.
That's how it starts.
Right? And you know, we did that joint. Shout out to Amila. And yeah, me and him did a couple joints together in like 2000. That was all like 2009, 2010. I had another friend that came in, and then I moved to another city, 2010, and I started working with two guys from that city. And eventually, when I moved to Montreal, is when I started working with a bunch of different artists, because Montreal has a lot of people rap in Montreal. I come from like the outskirts, not a lot of people rapping, and I came here, worked with a bunch of people, started expanding my knowledge, and that's when like I started like buying verses from people in the States, because there wasn't really enough people or enough like there's really talented people in Montreal, but not enough to like fill up like the type of discography I'm trying to build, you know. So I started reaching out to some of my favorite artists in the States, and that's basically how that all connected.
Yeah, that's crazy. I've never heard that you actually paid. It seems like that happens the other way, where MCs are buying beats. You actually bought verses?
Yeah, because a rapper will buy a feature, right?
Right.
So I just figured I could do that too. I just won't rap on it. when I'll hear like some random dude pay for like a Sean Price verse, and then you hear like Sean Price with some random guy on his like, you know, together doing the song, you're gonna skip that first guy just to get to the Sean Price verse. So you're not even taking in the song. You got to actually like manually like get to the parts you like to enjoy the song properly, because you're not gonna want to listen to the first guy. So I figured if I could just match the beat with a great rapper, people are gonna listen to my songs.
Oh, I hadn't heard of that. What was your what were the struggles with getting this? You know, you're basically figuring this out on the fly with you know, no mentoring, no instructions or nothing. What's challenged you? I mean, is it equipment, getting the right equipment, learning how to use the equipment? How are you putting this stuff together, figuring that part of it out?
Oh, that was not like I've been using the same equipment since 2007, which is a computer and a keyboard and a mouse, you know, like an actual like, you know, computer keyboard. And that's all I use. I never used any hardware, never used the MPC, never used the SP, never used I have a SP303 and I never even used it. I just used to run my records through it because it would sound good. But like, no, it's like I've had turntables forever. It's not an equipment thing. It's just that when you're just the guy, Nicholas Craven, and nobody knows you, you could be making beats better than Dr. Dre. But like, if you've got no machine close to you that knows about you or that you could connect with, or anybody that's gonna like, like there's no web of connections for you to like find him. Like nobody's ever gonna hear you. So I just figured either I can pay for promotion, like boost a post, or I could just pay for a verse. Like these guys are selling verses, so just let me buy a verse. But to be clear, like I didn't do that until like 2015, and the first American artist that gave me that I worked with, that I got a verse from, was for free, and that was me and the god Fahim.
Okay.
Me and Fahim made the song Nosferatu in 2015. And off of that, when I started seeing the reception I got just off of one song with a relatively unknown underground artist at the time, like not now, but like in 2015, not many people knew about Fahim yet. Like I just saw the reception I got off of that compared to what I was getting before. And to me, it was just logical. Like if I'm getting this with Fahim, imagine if I paid such and such for a verse. And like, and I did it, and I just kept doing it, and my name just kept building, and the web just kept getting bigger. And like that's what led to people hitting me up. That's like Ransom hit me up at the end of the day,
Okay.
For me buying Ito verses. I bought like verses off of Ito, made some songs with him, heard him, and then he hit me.
Oh.
So that's really the thing. Like like I'm not even like, I guess I make some like pretty cool beats here and there. Like I'm not trying to be overly modest or anything, but it's just like anybody who has really good beats, and a lot of people have really good beats, if they're just ready to go out and pay people to rap on it, like your name's gonna bubble.
Gotcha. So who's your I mean, you're figuring this stuff out, but kind of who that we know influenced you in crafting your sound or your style?
Well, the usual suspects, like RZA, Premier, Ninth Wonder, Just Blaze. Like I could go through like, I could keep naming people like all night, literally. Like
Okay.
Kanye, even Swizz Beatz, Dr. Dre, even like, the guy from Alcoholics, I forget his name, E something.
Oh,
like,
E Swift.
Yeah, E Swift, right? Like like it goes on, like Pimp Season influence. Like I fuck with everybody, but like really like the guys that like I would study the most and probably try to emulate the most all through my life were probably like the Premier, the RZAs, the Kanye's, Ninth Wonders, Heat Makers,
Okay.
that type of shit. Then Rock Marciano, when I heard his shit in 2013, from 2013 on, that's probably been my main influence. And then other people that are in our same type of producer pool, like Sadu Gold and the God Fahim, August Fanon, V Don, I said Sadu Gold.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'd say I'm just gonna start repeating people. But like, yeah, anybody, Alchemist, Alchemist is a huge influence, DJ Muggs. Yeah, man. It goes on. It's nonstop. I'm influenced by anything. Like I just love hip hop. I love hip hop. I love any type of music, art, anything you can throw at me. I'm gonna try to get influence from it. Like I just try to source influence from anything I can.
Gotcha. Now, are you doing a lot of crate digging? You mentioned records, so I'm assuming you were sampling off of records and whatnot. But are you is it a mix, or are you more, or what do you favor? Albums, or are you kind of like, I know technology and whatnot allows you guys to cut some corners and whatnot, or these sample packs and all this stuff? Kind of what's your approach to what do you rely on the most?
I never really work with sample packs. I work with vinyl. I would say probably 20% of my beats are from vinyl.
Okay.
But what I prefer is I've got these few like pages and internet dudes, collectors I know, that upload high quality rips of their vinyl collection, and like I've got some for all the genres, so I just go through some of their libraries and stuff, and it's like better quality than what I could get importing my vinyls through my hardware. So I use a lot of that. I don't rip from YouTube. That's not the thing I do.
Okay.
I don't knock anybody that does it. If you do it and it sounds great, more power to you. That's just I'm just finicky with the compression sound of like the lower quality sound of the samples when you do it that way. But yeah, no, my favorite thing is just researching music. Like basically instead of like I'll go crate digging, like especially before all this shit, like I would go crate digging like at a record store and just like look for some unknown stuff and then just like either buy it there or do a little research on it on my phone while I'm there, or I'll take a picture of the vinyl and then research it when I get home, you know, like either that or like now all I do is really just research music on the internet and try to find just some new weird music or like obscure music that I don't know about and try to like find some stuff in there. That's basically how I do it.
How much music, how much time a day or whatever do you spend listening to music?
Honestly, like in the past, like since October, I've kind of slowed down for the first time in my life on beat making. I've still made like probably over 100 beats since October, but like back then, like, you know, like especially before, like, you know, when I was younger and I was single, like I would probably listen to like 10 albums in a day. Every like, you know, any given day, like I would just you know, on an average probably like throughout the year I would listen to like 3 to 4 albums a day. And that's like, you know, not listening to the full songs or anything, but I would check out every song on 4 albums or something every day, you know, something like that.
Yeah, some of the work ethic that I'm seeing right now in the producers and the MCs is just ridiculous right now. I mean, it's crazy.
It's not even work when you actually love it.
There's any
Like I just figured that, like, you know, I always loved music. I used to play instruments and, you know, try to compose music and compose like guitar and piano shit and all that. But like I find that sampling, since it's like composition through like, you know, like literal, like you're chopping up like legally bound music that's owned by somebody else. Like even like if it wasn't for that obstacle, like it's just like to me it's like I don't know, like I'll do it anyways. I don't care about that obstacle, but it's just like if you love listening to music and making music, this is the most fun way to do it because all I'm doing is listening to music and then using that to compose new music, you know? So
right.
all I do is just listen to music. It's not even like I would be doing it anyways. So it's not, I don't even see it as work. People say I have a work ethic. Like a lot of people, like, you know, I think I'm kind of lazy to tell you the truth. Like people gas me up. They're like, yo, you put out a beat every day. Yo, you do this, you do that. It's like, yeah, but like I'm on my ass watching like TV, smoking, drinking water, and like just listening to music all day. So
about how many, I mean, so you don't have any goal or anything, beats per day, beats per week. It's just kind of
it has to be natural. It has to be natural. It just has to happen. I don't want anything. Like even like, you know, like I got a song coming from a rapper. He hit me the other day. He's like, yo, when do you need this song by? And I told him, like, yo, just let it come out like when it comes, you know? Like I'm not trying to force anything, especially not my own creative process. So me is just take in art every day, watch a movie, watch a new TV show, listen to a new song, just take in shit every day and hope for the best.
You there? The signal broke up for a minute. Okay, you back?
Yeah, I'm here.
I lost you for just a second. Okay. Do you feel like it's some competition amongst producers right now? I mean, I was thinking before we got on, it just seemed like maybe it was 10 guys or a dozen guys, or it seemed like maybe it was maybe a half a dozen major guys, and then it was different groups that had their own producer within that group, like Black Moon or you know, Onyx Alcoholics had their guy. But now it just seems like I look at some of the producer credits and I'm watching, you know, guys on IG, and it just seems like just an army of guys now.
Yeah, no, I see what you mean. Like, but I see it like I've always wanted to be like Premier. I saw Premier had songs with everybody from Jay-Z to All City to like Bahamadia to, you know, anything. He had tracks with everybody. So like D'Angelo. So me, it's always like been like, oh, I want to be like Premier, Christina Aguilera shit, you know? And like, yeah, but you know, we still have like, you know, Dump God, like Makami and Fahim. They got Fahim making beats. They got me, they got Sadu, they got, you know, they got their dudes that still make their beats, you know, like Preservation, like he's like, we're in that camp, you know, and then like, you know, Griselda, they got J.R. Swifts and you know, Derringer. And like Derringer's like one of the producers too that like I heard like when I heard like Raw Oysters, like that angered me. Like I had to hit him up, like, yo, that shit is just too crazy. And like we talked all night, and like that shit is like that, like yeah, like Derringer is one of the dudes that like motivates me the most. When I hear his beats, it like gets my blood pumping. Like I gotta do better than this. And like, yeah, I told him, like we had a whole conversation about it. Like the guy, like, but still, like to answer your question, like yeah, it is kind of an army still. Like everybody's producing for everybody. Like there's way more of that than before. I think you're right about that.
So is it some competition with that? I know the MCs are competitive and all of that, but is it some competition? You just mentioned what Derringer did. Is it a competition amongst you guys?
Well, it's always friendly competition. It's hip hop, you know. Like to me, that's the whole basis of it. But I don't.
Sense.
I admire anybody that I feel I'm in competition with, like quote unquote. I admire, and I think that some of their best beats are better than any beat I've ever made.
Gotcha. So when you start moving on to, what are you thinking? I mean, because you move on, and I mean, if your style hasn't changed a whole lot, I would think that some of the early guys might have had some of the Montreal guys might have had a problem fitting their subject matter to your style of beats. Maybe.
Well, like, yeah, no, for sure. It hasn't changed much. It kind of cut out while you like were asking the question, but like my style, like if you're asking like it has it changed and how people like really like adapt to it, like I kind of went from like the Premier sound to the Marciano sound in a way. Like when I was doing more the Premier sound and like even more like, you know, the low tempo like not trap necessarily, but like, you know, what we used to call like dirty South type beats and stuff like that. Like I would do a lot of that, and that would like probably click with people in Montreal more than what I'm trying to do now, because I did have a few like, you know, what they call the drumless loops. Like back in the days, like I did have a couple of those, and people never really went towards them, and that's kind of why I didn't really want to do them, because even though like to me sometimes I would ruin the sample with my drums, like I wasn't ready to just show somebody a sample and be like, rap on that. Oh, that's going to be crazy to rap on. Because if they were going to be like, oh, there's no drums, how am I supposed to rap to this? I didn't have like, well, look at this Rock Marciano song or this West Side Gun or Mock Hami song or whatever. Like there wasn't anything of that back then. The most I could have done is be like, well, listen to Dear Summer by Jay-Z, you know?
Right.
But like people are like, I'm not trying to do a skit on a Memphis Bleak album, you know? Like
that's crazy. So is that a constant? I don't know. I saw the video that you posted a few weeks ago of the sister that was making kind of defending the drumless loops. Is that something? Well, I guess what's the decision behind? Is it just a matter of you trying to put drums on there messes up some of these samples, or is that just your style, or you just go with whatever vibe you get to?
It's just it never really happens that I'll like try to put drums and be like, nah, these drums don't work. I'm gonna keep it like without any like drums on top. Like that never really happens. It's more just I think like, you know, people are so used to like all the music now you listen to, like whether it's pop, R&B, you know, country, hip hop, everything, all the drums hit like, you know, like they're all max, like compressed to the max, like everything hits exactly the same volume. Like you listen to the radio, the drums on every song, the kick and the snare on every song are like boom bap almost, like level of like everything pops out perfectly. You know, kick, snare, like boom bap, like it pops out like crazy, right? So that's what you hear all the time. And I like listening to jazz music and soul music and old rock music and stuff like that because everything kind of had a different color. Everything kind of sounded different, kind of like nothing had like the hard impact that like will make your subwoofer shake. Like not everything was made with the big low end that everything has today. And it's just, to me, it's like when I was a kid, that's all I wanted. I just wanted my shit to bang the loudest and I just wanted to make speakers rattle and shit. And then like when I started working 12-hour shifts 7 days a week and I discovered Rock Marciano and I was just a tired young man working nonstop like a fucking like, you know, like crazy. And all I wanted to do when I got home was just listen to Sade or listen to like Curtis Mayfield. And then I heard Rock Marciano. I'm like, wow, dynamically, this is the same thing.
Right.
You know, nothing's popping out at you. Nothing's like in your face. Everything's just like really classy, really like nice. You know, it's grimy still. He's still coming at you with like the crazy images if you're really listening. But if you just need it as like, you know, just like to chill with, it's just beautiful. You can drink wine to it, you know, all of this shit. So it's just, to me, it's like, it's kind of, I like it I like seeing in a way as like a maturation of hip hop. It's like, this is like hip hop's what, 50 years old. So
Right.
This is like just where it should logically be in a way. It doesn't always have to be made for like just people with cars with big speakers. It could be made for like 50-year-old people to listen to now and 40-year-old people and whatever, you know? So it's just like, to me, that's what it was tapping into that nobody was really tapping into before. And I really like that. So that's just what I want to do. It's just, and Rand, that's what he wants to do. Cause I sent him so many beats with drums. He didn't pick any. For all the director's cuts, he just had drumless beats, except for the last beat on Pulp Fiction and the second beat on Inception. Every other beat has no added drums. And we switched that up with Crime Scenes. Crime Scenes has drums on it.
Right. I noticed that.
And like, that helps me because it shows people, because people were like, they were only listening to my Ransom stuff. They didn't hear my joint with Mock Hami that made the Jay-Z list that's boom bap, that has big drums on it. Like I probably made 200 boom bap beats last year, but Rand didn't want them. So nobody really, like, you know, the people that caught up with me through Ransom didn't hear him and started being like, oh, we need the old Ransom. So Ransom put out Hell or High Water on him, you know?
Right. And I was wondering about that, if that was intentional with you guys getting to Crime Scenes, if like the inclusion of drums was kind of to separate it, that we're going in a bit of a new direction in a way, you know, with the new title, you know, going from director's cut and then deleted scenes to Crime Scenes. I just wondered if the drums kind of signaled this is the next evolution in what we're doing.
Yeah, like, from my point of view, that's definitely what was happening, and I'm pretty sure that's what Ransom had, like, the way he sees it too. But you'd have to ask Rand if that was really like planned or that just happened, or like, because that's the way I see it for sure. But,
and that
was
one of my questions. I'm sorry, man. That was one of my questions with who's leading the way. And well, I'll get to that.
Ransom. It's Ransom.
Okay. We'll come back to that though. So the Ito album comes out in what was that, 2018?
Right, November. Remembrance Day 2018, November.
Got you. I just started picking up on Ito maybe 4 to 6 months ago, and I like dude. I mean, he's an original.
For sure. He's definitely unique. Come on.
Yeah, he's an original. Doesn't always bowl you over or blow you away with his bars, but some guys just know how to make dope songs with the total package.
He's a songwriter. Ito's definitely the songwriter.
And then, I mean, he'll come along. I've never heard anything that's trash or nothing, because I wouldn't have kept digging deeper into his catalog and whatnot. But to start working with a guy like him, just what did that do for you in terms of where you were going with your music?
Well, I had just put out Craven N1, and I've got everybody on there, and that was 2017. That was like my first like I'm Here project. Like, this is the Nicholas Craven project. And, you know, I had Marciano on there, Westside, Conway, Benny, Fahim, Planet Asia, Chic Louche, my homies Jimmy D and Boy Blue from Montreal. And like, I had to like I was planning on, I didn't know what to do for the next project. Like, I was planning on Craven N2, but I was like, I don't know. I need to like really like kill the lineup of the first one to have something that I want to put out. And I started with Ito. And with Ito, when I heard the first song we did, Close Your Mouth, I heard that and I was like, no, wait, let me wait for the album. Let me do something with Ito right here. He just put out Omerta.
Okay.
Vidon, shout out to Vidon. And I was bumping that shit crazy. And there was that track A6 that him and Vidon put out too. Like, they were just going crazy. So I was like, okay, let me like, you know, see what I could do here. So we linked up. And also my friend 80 Rock had done a song with him the year before called Army Trucks.
Okay.
So I had talked to like 80 about his work with Ito and all that. And like, he'd known about Ito since like 2007 or 2008 and something. So like, that was just like, I don't know, it was just so smooth working with Ito, and the shit he was giving me was just so good. So it just made sense. I had to put the tape together, and he loved it, so we did it. And that tape got me so much shine, like, from rappers. Like, I didn't, like, it's not like Ito, like, you know, like, it's not like I got the most fans or whatever, the most like, you know, like nerdy hip hop fans that just like came up and found me, but just like real street rappers like just started hitting me though. Like Dark Low was the first to hit me up off of that. He heard the tape like, yo, I love the shit he did with Ito. Let's work. Me and Dark Low did win a Grammy. And then Ransom hit me and we did Reaper's Hood the next year. So that tape, that's probably like one of like probably not the most important tape of my career, but it's top 2 or 3 for sure. Because that shit just, if it wasn't for that Valentino Rizzuto tape with Ito, shout out to Ito, shout out to Rochester. If it wasn't for that tape, we wouldn't probably not have any director's cut.
You got to say that again because you froze up a little bit. I want to make sure people hear what you just said.
I said if it wasn't for that, if it wasn't for Valentino Rizzuto, you probably wouldn't have had Ransom and Nicholas Craven.
Got you. You know what? And I mean, keeping it real, I just, when we started rapping a little bit offline, I knew you were going to come on. You know, I did listen to Craven N1, N2, and then yesterday on the way home, I listened to Valentino Rizzuto. I didn't even know you guys had a whole, like an LP or I guess that's considered an LP. There's about 10 joints on there.
Yeah, it's whatever you want to call it.
I'm about to say this. I kind of keep the EPs at like 7 or 8 songs, and then anything above that, I kind of go LP. But yeah, I didn't realize you guys had a project out there, and I actually one of the albums that I reviewed was I think it was that Long Story Short by Ito and Superior.
Yeah, shout out to
you know, and I completely missed that. I think that might have been from 2019. And I think I just found out about it a few months ago and was like, that was probably my album of the year for 2019.
Yeah, that sure was.
In retrospect, like that was my album of the year, maybe.
That shit was hard for sure.
And Superior, that's another guy that I started seeing his music out there, and I guess he's over in Europe or something.
I don't know much about him. I've
Oh,
just heard a few joints, but it's very, very good shit.
yeah, him. I think between you, him, and me, fucks, like everything I'm hearing is V Don is coming along too, and I'm putting him more and more in the rotation. But you've mentioned that Nicholas Craven. I mean, Craven is really your last name, right?
Right.
Now, were you aware of the Wes Craven?
Well, I like when Rand decided to do director's cut with like the Freddy shit and all that. Like I figured he was like going off of that, and I've known about Wes Craven like for a long time for sure.
Okay.
But yeah, Nicholas, like even like nobody's ever called me Nicholas either. Like
Right.
my name is Nicolas. Like nobody and like even like English people would call me Nicolas Craven back in the days, but like yeah, Nicholas is what people in the States read my name as, so that's my name now.
Okay. It's not the worst thing, the worst problem in the world.
No, it's all good.
Now, so there was never like any intention beforehand to kind of have, because I kind of, just from seeing the album covers, the first ones from Director's Cut, I just kind of started associating you with like the horror film genre and then Wes Craven and everything. But your music was just darker just because the sources that you pull from.
Yeah, well, it's never like, oh, I'm gonna do like darker type music because my name is Wes Craven. This is just like my favorite band is probably Black Sabbath. You know,
Okay.
Just, like I just like dark shit. I've got a series of instrumental beat tapes called Death Soul. That's just like all the most like, well, that's what you just played at the beginning actually.
Okay.
And that's like to me like that's like I just love that shit. The dark soulful loops like Derringer does a few good ones of those too. But yeah, that's my shit.
Right. And the crazy thing with you guys, like I said, I've been just a fan of production throughout the years, maybe starting in 88 or something. And it's just really dope that I thought like whether it's jazz or some of that funk and soul between like the late 60s and mid 70s, maybe, I thought most of the samples were found and used. And then you guys have rolled out all this new stuff, and very rarely am I hearing anything where like, yeah, I heard that in 96. I heard that in 93. Yeah, that was used in a bunch of, like, it just seems like you guys unearthed a whole new vein of just dope shit to make.
That's the art form, man. And also like with the Marciano sound taking over, it opens up like new parts of the songs that people wouldn't sample before. Because people would probably just like maybe we're like using something that you've heard another part of the song sampled before, right? Like the intro that nobody's singing on or something. But like me, I like always going into like the parts of the songs that nobody touches, like the part with the girl screaming or like still talking on it or something. So all of that stuff is just like, yeah, that's the art form, man. We just got to find the untouched material.
Like I said, it's good for me because for a couple of years, I really thought, the sound had changed, and we know what's on the radio and dominates that and so on and so forth. But like I said, since stumbling across a couple of you guys, it's just really renewed my interest in the genre, and it's just allowed me to really tap back in, and because I love hip hop as well. You never did a rhythm roulette. Did you that series that's out there on YouTube? You never did that?
No, I don't think they do it in Canada.
Oh,
right. But maybe if like somebody wants to link it up and I can go to the States, I'd do it for sure. But no, never done it. My shit just started bubbling this year too, to be honest with you.
Okay. But had you been a fan of that series on here? I mean, I've lost like half a day or something just watching rhythm roulettes back to back to back.
Yeah, it's dope. It's not like I don't think I've ever binged probably more than 3 or 4 in a row, but like like it's good. It's for sure. It's a crazy concept. I would like to do it.
Gotcha. So how do you connect, man? I was looking at something a while, or listening to a podcast maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and it had the cat. I don't listen to a lot of his music, but it was I think his name is Zaytoven, that is a big producer in Atlanta or something. And but he was mentioning like he grew up in the church and may have even been like his father's church director, I mean a choir director or something. But then he said he loved producing trap music, and he would encourage when the guys weren't going as gritty as they needed to go, he would push them to be even more grittier. So with some of the subject matter that you deal with, I mean that the artists that you're with that they deal with, do you ever, I don't know, do you ever want to branch out to anything? Do you ever kind of question where some of this stuff is going, or is it overkill? Is it too much? How do you sit with kind of the subject matter that ends up over your beats?
Well, like I haven't grown up in a lot of the same environments as a lot of the people that I've worked with. And the way I see it is just like I just love the art form so much, and I don't want to say a word to them about what they should be doing or rapping or whatever. And it just so happens that, most of the great lyricists that we love, had a hard life. So they just got to show it. And to me, it's like, I don't know. I just love street rap. I always have. And I don't know, man. It's an interesting question still.
And it's not to condemn, like you said, it's not to condemn anything that these guys do. I mean, but for me as an older hip hop fan, and what I do day to day in my 9 to 5 and all of that, sometimes it does get a little challenging to reconcile those two things. But then again, like I mentioned on a review I did a couple of weeks ago recently, I don't mess with too many television series if it's not some street kind of some street life component or element on the show. Most of the best shows that we watch have the streets in them.
Yeah, I hear you. But it's like, I don't know if I actually go out looking for like a specific subject matter with the rappers I work with.
Right.
Like, it's more of just, I just want to work with great rappers. And I don't know, man. It's like, it's just like, even like a guy like Billy Woods, right?
Okay.
Billy Woods, I love his shit. And probably you would listen to his shit and not really see it as like street rap or like, like anything like that. You would probably see it. I don't know. Have you heard Billy Woods?
Now I'm writing it down now to get with it afterwards. I think I've seen the name before.
A group called Armand Hammer.
Okay.
Like Armand, like a name, like ARMAND Hammer.
Okay.
I don't know. Like, to me, it's like what he gives you is just like reality shit. It's just like, and it's not nothing specific that he's going to give you like throughout his discography, but it's just like observational stuff and different types of, but it all sounds grimy still. It still all sounds like, I don't know, like the like humans can connect to it. Like, it's nothing like, it's like the everyday people, like, like blue collar people, like it's nothing like that sounds like prestigious or like he's trying to do this. It's just like, it's stuff, I don't know, it's hard to explain. But it's just to say, like, what I admire in the way he does his shit is just pure art, pure rhyming, pure like everything. And it's the same kind of thing I hear in Ransom, but it's just like Rand just has a different way of presenting it, and Rand had a different life. And I don't know, man. To me, also, the thing is, when you have this hard subject matter put against these types of beats, to me, also, that's like a beautiful marriage to me, also, because
right.
It's like, I don't really enjoy like music that's got super hard lyrics with like a super aggressive, like, like scary or like aggressive or angry type beat, Like, of course, like we love like certain classics that have like super hard, crazy beats that aren't soulful, that aren't pretty. like, you know, band from TV or whatever you want to say, or like, you know, any lock song or anything like that with Swiss Beats. But it's just like, I don't know, Ghostface is my favorite. So I'm just trying to do Ghostface's type of music, right?
Right.
So at the end of the day, Ghost is like, he's talking about anything, but you know where he's coming from with it. You know, same as Billy Woods, same as Ransom, same as Jay-Z at the end of the day. You know, like everything that we like in rap, it just has to come from that real tangible experience in a way. I'll just hold on. Allô, bébé? Je suis juste sur une interview, je te rappelle, OK? Bye. But yeah, it just has that tangibility. It has that, because, you know, like, I don't know, man. Like, I've never really been like rich, or I don't know, man. It's just like everybody can relate to it at the end of the
We
day.
all been out here struggling and hustling.
Like, you know, I don't really know millionaires or shit like that. You know, like I know people that are just like, you know, like I'm not saying that like I'm broke or anything. I'm just saying that like, or like my family was fucked up. Like I grew up good, like, you know, middle class, nice. But it's just like anybody who's just like from like, you know, just humans can just connect to this shit. I don't know, man. It's a deep question though. Nobody's really ever asked me that. And like I had like thought about it a lot. Like, why is it that this type of stuff is like the best sounding stuff to me? You know? Like, why? Like, it's just like, because it's just like, you know, like I'll listen to Ghostface and Sade and Jimi Hendrix and whatever, and it's just like the Ghostface, just that idea. It's just like, we're gonna take beautiful angelic music,
right,
and give you like, you know, like the most crazy lyrical shit ever. And it's just like, I don't know, man. It's an odd you know, I don't know what's the right answer to that question, but yeah.
Yeah, and I just say, you know, some of the guys. So I was checking out. I mean, perfect example. I'm listening to the new Conflicted soundtrack, and even I listened to this latest El Camino album, and just where he is in his art and what he's trying to do, that might be something I vibe with in the gym, or if I'm cutting my grass or something, if I'm doing something, you know, that I need some energy or something. I'm just saying, it's some guys that I listen to where it's just like, this person it's not really glorifying the streets, but maybe it's just doing what they do. And I'm just like, dang, bro, like this is just, you know, it just is what it is. But I'm getting around to like a Ransom, a Ghostface. They still, they give listeners from all walks something to connect with, because they aren't too street or too gritty. Like Ransom, Spesh does a great job of it, but some of these guys,
I think Ransom's pretty gritty, man. Like, you know, I almost like, you know, I won't, like, I'll let him choose whatever he wants to categorize it as, but like our first few joints, like, yo, they kind of border, like, I don't know, maybe people are gonna roast me for this, but I like to see it as like some of those bars are like horrorcore bars. Like this first line of scene 1 is about him seeing brains for the first time. You know, it's like it's wild. I've never seen exposed brain. I'll tell you that much. I promise you, I've never seen that.
Right. Things definitely got gritty in places on scene 2 and scene 3, and like you said, in all of them really. But what I was pointing out with this new song that you kind of told me that was on the way was Pride, but he throws in lines or a bar like, what doesn't evolve you shouldn't involve you.
Yeah.
And I was on my review of that single yesterday or this week. It's lines like that a kid in high school, you know, in some suburb can take that line and apply it to what they have going on in their life.
For sure.
But it's still super street though.
Yeah, but it's just like, and the reason it comes across and you want to hear it and you take it in, it's because you relate to the narrator in a way, because you relate to, you know, you can relate to something he said sometimes. So it's just like, I don't know, man. When you hear these, like, I don't know, man. Me, it's like what I said earlier. Like, let's just break it down to I just like rappers rapping about their reality, and I feel maybe that pain is something that drives a lot of great art, and unfortunately, a lot of the pain that the people I work with have dealt with is something that a lot of people have dealt with,
Right.
and listen, man, to me, it's almost like for me to not really be like, like I've done my little things here and there, like in my life, I flipped a few pounds of weed and shit like that. But it's just like, for me to be like, just like, like have had what I would consider a pretty like lucky life and a pretty like, like good life, like in every aspect, to be able to like connect with other people that like, and like give them this platform to like, like express themselves on is just like an honor to me, man. It's just crazy to me that like, I don't know what I can attribute it to. Is it just me having studied the art form? Is it, I don't know, is it me just like connecting emotionally to certain of these like feelings like that are expressed in the art form? But like, I don't know, man. It's an honor to be here. That I can say for sure.
That kind of comes out in your music that you feel that way.
Yeah.
Let's get into it though with the the arrival of the director's cut series and what you guys did in 2020. How did this relationship? You said that Rand reached out to you when he contacts you. How does it sprout from the initial contact?
It was really simple, man. As he hit me, just like, yo, gotta work. And I started hitting him with beats. He was like trying to play his beats, going to sessions with like rappers and showing them packs of my beats and stuff like that. People he was doing behind the scenes work with. And eventually I was just like, listen, how much for a verse? And he charged me for a verse. And I bought it, and it was Reaper's Hood. And it's probably one of the best purchases I've made in my life. And after we did that and we put it out, it was the first like solo Ransom song in a few years.
Yeah.
So like people went crazy, especially that he was like embracing the new sound, which he had already fucked with. Like he had already rapped over Rock Marciano beats and everything, right?
Right.
And but like, and he had been on an actual Madlib single, right? Like he's on a Madlibs and Freddie Gibbs vinyl, like literally like on the remix of Knicks. So like Rand's been in this part of the hip hop world before. So I don't know. I guess he just saw in my beats that I had a supply of that type of vibe. And when he heard Reaper's Hood and saw the reaction, he just hit me like, yeah, we might have to do a project. That was like mid 2016. And by the end of the summer, we had a few deleted scenes. And we basically didn't use any of those. And from like, I don't know, November to February, we made director's cut. It was really simple. And through all this time, not one phone call, not one face-to-face meeting, just text and emails.
Wow. Is that November 2019 through, what was that, March 2020?
What? That we met?
No, that you were putting together the first director's cut.
Well, we had the joints, like for example, like summer 2019, we had Eyes Wide Shut.
Okay.
And we had the second part of The Shocker.
Okay.
And we had a few joints like that. So like we started, like when he hit me and was like, let's make a project of some kind, that was probably June 2019.
Okay.
Yeah.
So who comes up with the 2019? Who comes up with or steered it towards it being this horrorcore kind of thing?
It's Ransom, 100%. Like I'm like, everything is Rand. Everything. Only thing I did was supply him with the beats. And I really just like, I did, because to me, it's like this, right? I'm a rookie. He's a vet. So whether whatever the fuck, like even if in my head it's like, oh, he's just a rapper or whatever. No, it's like this guy knows how to make hip hop better than I know how to make hip hop. So anything, like I know how to make beats. So I'll just take care of that and put all my energy into that, because that's the most valuable energy I can put into it. Any other type of energy isn't as valuable as what I could do with the beats. And I don't want to thwart in any way what Ran has envisioned for this. I want everything Ran has, and then let's see it play out. Let's see, like, because it went from let's do a project to okay, let's put out 4 songs. When he said 4 songs at first, I was like, but like I was like, no, like I'm not. When he told me, I was like, perfect, no problem. Right. And I didn't want to, because I just like in my head is like, even if I thought this might be or whatever, he has the experience, I don't. So I just really like had to force myself to not say a word and just trust Ransom 100%. And man, was that a good bet. Like, fuck, like, honestly, it was just the logical way to go, and it worked.
Now, whatever he communicated to you, did it shape your beat making and, you know, kind of where you tried to stay musically?
No, the only thing that shaped my beat making is when I heard Director's Cut 1.
Oh, okay.
And then when I heard Director's Cut 2, and then like so on and so forth. Like I just give him beats, man. I give him everything and the kitchen sink, everything. Like he got everything, really. Like I sent Ransom, like it would take me hours to find him like a 40-pack to send him of stuff that I haven't sent him.
Gotcha. So have you guys met face to face to this point? I mean, I know we
talk often on the phone now. We've done a few like video lives that people have seen online. Like that one that I posted on my YouTube channel, that's our first face to face phone, voice to voice conversation, whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
And yeah, no, we haven't met, you know, face to face. I've only been able to go to the States once since quarantine started. So like when this clears up, though, I'm down there for sure. And like, yeah, no, it's overdue. We got to meet.
Who picks the
Ransom?
So he gives you the movie snippets, you know, like
Ransom did that himself.
Okay.
Ransom did everything himself. Like every skit that you heard, he put on there. Every way the song's cut up, he did it that way. He would even like for example, Uncut Gems had drums. Right? I had drums on Uncut Gems, but there was the intro with just the sample playing, and then the drums would come in on the second bar or whatever. And Ran literally just looped the intro.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Ran, like, listen, like, you know, he put arranged by Ransom, but like Ransom co-produced the album with me, basically. Okay. Like I like composed the album, maybe if you want to say. He produced the album.
So, I mean, you get these projects out there, and it's kind of a shame where we are right now on like the distribution side of this, and the fact, you know, like we don't get music videos anymore. There's no, you know, 106 in Park. There's no Basement and all of that. Get out, but did all of that get broken up?
Yeah, I didn't get any of that.
I was just saying, once this thing, or where it in these releases, reaction. Good old Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I hear you now.
Oh, my bad. I was just wondering, with these projects, where did it really explode for you guys? The response from music listeners and whatnot. When did this really take off for you guys?
As soon as we put out Reaper's Hood, people have been waiting for it. And when we put out Director's Cut 1, it blew up.
Got you.
And every time it's just more and more people, more and more reception, more and more athletes and NBA players and NFL people talking about it. It's nonstop.
Yeah, I saw the cat from the Raiders. The tight end from the Raiders said something about and Rand, I think, put it up on his Instagram.
Straight. And Wiggins hit us up. Well, was playing his, like, I think director's cut scene 3 in his Ferrari. That shit was hard too.
Right. So like, what's next on deck for you? I mean, is it additional projects coming for you guys, or are you branching out with any solo or projects with other soloists? What's next for Nicholas Craven?
More Ransom and Craven, an album with a French rapper in Montreal called D-Track coming soon too. Craven N3 is going to be coming maybe this year, maybe next. And Makami and Craven stuff's probably going to pop up one day too, new stuff, you never know. And apart from that, just watch my SoundCloud and YouTube for new beats every day. And that's pretty much it. I can't really call it right now.
Is there anybody out there, that's one of the dope things right now is seeing the different MCs pair up with a particular producer for one project. Is there any artists out there that you like to explore that type of situation with?
Yeah, Jay-Z probably. even like if I had the choice to work with anybody, I would have a tape with like Young Thug on it. I would have a tape with like Jay, Young Thug. I'd love to get a Kodak Black verse, even though like all this shit's going on. But like, I want to work with all the big guys, but it's got like, I want him to rap on my beats, like these beats. But he can do Kodak Black on my beats. He can do Young Thug on my beats. So I want to work with everybody, man. Throw it out there. I want to work with them. Like anybody who's a good rapper, doesn't matter what it is. I just want to work with all the great rappers, contribute to the art form as much as I can.
Is there another, with the exception of you guys, is there another duo out there that's kind of caught your ear who've done that? And I'm trying to think. I mean, I know Lulu comes to mind with Khan and Alchemist. I
fuck with the Boldy James Alchemist shit like crazy.
Okay. Oh yeah, the tea in China or whatever, the price of tea in China.
Yeah, for sure. Even like everything like this is right now is like one of my favorite eras of hip hop of all time, especially the last year. We've had such good music drop in the last year. It's just amazing. So I like everything. I like Ito and V-Don. I like Willie the Kid and V-Don. I like Spook and Sadhu Gold. I like, name them, man. Like any producer, he's probably got a little duo going with somebody, and I fuck with it. Even I haven't gotten to listen to the new project, but the Future Wave Riggs and Mooch joint, that joint's crazy. So I like seeing Canadians do the same moves. Anybody, man, you name them. Like everybody's doing moves right now, and it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, and that's kind of what's disheartening for me because, like I said, I'm mid-40s, and so many of my partners that I grew up listening to hip hop, for one reason or another, they've kind of left the genre alone. And but I'm like, nah, man, but it's a lot of stuff right now that we should be checking with and tapping into. But they're like, man, I ain't got time for it. And I'm like, okay. I mean, I just keep it to myself. And that's what I'm saying. Now I'm on here reviewing these albums and I get some young people that come on from time to time, and it's everything that they hear is the dopest of all time. Or I have guys who told me I think actually on maybe on Director's Cut Scene 2, I want to say somebody told me I didn't do the review any justice whatsoever. And I was like, I mean, I only said it was my favorite project of the year to that point. I mean, what did you want me to do? But and then to your point, I think one thing with listening to what you're doing, a lot of guys like the nod factor or something, with guys doing all of this. And when you have the drumless samples, that doesn't really happen, as much. And maybe that's a hard connection for some listeners. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess that's what it is. I don't know. But then again, there's tons of shit with drums that's out right now too, including Craven beats.
Right. The other guy that's doing a really good job with the, exclusively producing stuff is obvious one, and but Apollo Brown. He's gotten in with Shay Noir. I like stuff that he did with Locksmith, and then the solo one with and what's his name? I lost that one. But anyway, yeah, man, just like I said, a phenomenal year, man. It really do you think this could have happened without COVID?
Yes, for sure. Well, I don't know from Ransom's point of view, but if Ransom would have asked this of me and there wasn't COVID, I would have supplied it definitely 100%.
Gotcha. How would you find? I mean, going in, we're now here in 2021. I mean, is there any idea on how many projects you guys could pump out, or
can't really call it, man. We're trying to figure out what we want to do. We might have to hit you with the real project, the real the double CD, but we'll see.
Yeah, and that's what I kind of wonder, because it seems like that way with Conway, that so much material comes out, and then he's like, "But I haven't released my solo album yet." And it's like, well, I mean, I've got 5 projects.
Yeah, but I'm saying, we've dropped the first album is Director's Cut Scene 3 for sure.
Right.
That's the album, right? It's half an hour, so that's the longest one. It's the only to me is the only one that's Crime Scenes is up there. It's 20 something minutes too.
Right.
But, to me, Scene 3 is the undeniable album. But I'm saying when we're gonna do the joint with might have to get in a few other producers on there too. That's the thing. It might have to be maybe 80% Craven, but you get a crazy V-Don, a crazy 38 Special or something, a Derringer, a DJ Premier joint or something like that. That's I'd like that for sure, because it was at the end of the day, I would be the flagship producer for the album, but we'd have all these crazy connections to just make it more of what it could be,
Got you. Just before I let you get out of here, man, any I guess what's in heavy rotation? I mean, we've thrown a bunch of names out there. I will say Willie the Kid is another newcomer for me that once I started checking him out, I've been tapping in. He's been in rotation heavy. Ito is a guy I keep an eye out for. Obviously, Flea Lord did a ton of work this year. I worked everybody. But I don't know, man. What's in your rotation right now?
Really? I can't. I don't know. What have I been bumping? I've been bumping like I said, that Raw Oysters track.
Okay.
And that Stefan Diggs track.
Okay.
That should have been bumping crazy. Derringer went nuts. I'm always bumping Makami. I'm always bumping Ransom. We're bumping a lot of Marciano these days, the Mount Marcy joint. Bumping that Crew Toy, the Ural Droog album.
Okay.
That shit's crazy. I don't know. Still bumping a Written Testimony. Still love that album.
Which one?
The J Electronica Jay-Z tape.
Okay. Written Testimony.
Yeah, that's a big one for me. I don't know. Bumping a lot of Sade, a lot of Summer Walker, Jasmine Sullivan.
Did you dig that new one?
Yeah, for sure. Ari Lennox, all that. I fuck with all that shit too.
Last question, man. Like I said, we have our reaction to this stuff. What's the reaction for you when you hear your music? You went from Fahim to Ito, and then to Ransom. What are you noticing different in the approaches of and the levels between those three, or what's so different about a guy on Ransom's level?
Well, I find they're all not to put anybody on different levels. To me, as far as working with them, the only person that actually made the album in the same space with was Fahim.
Okay.
I made the album with him, so that was like a great experience, right? I went down to Atlanta. We got an Airbnb right on fucking Boulder Crest, and yeah, man, it was like we just stayed cooped up and made the album in like 3 days. So that was super fun. The Ito album was fun too because that was like my first album I was doing with like a well-known rapper at the time. And then the Ransom shit is just like we made so many, it's so quick, and it was just like my focus for like a whole year. That's just like I can't really compare any of the experiences. I would love to do another tape that I like what I did with Fahim like this year. I'm trying to go down to Atlanta again, but yeah, man, I can't really compare, man. Everything's been necessary. Everything's been beautiful, and everything's been fun.
That's dope. Well, I definitely hope to that you guys do lock in and do like the official thing that you were just talking about.
It's gonna happen.
You playing anything? You mentioned playing guitar, piano as a kid. Are you playing any instruments on any of the new music?
No. We're gonna get some live instruments though. Like we're gonna get. So I might be playing something on the next shit, but as far as up to now, we haven't put out anything, or we haven't made anything that has live instruments or me playing on it or anything yet.
Okay, all right, man. Well, look, I'm just gonna continue to watch you on IG and whatnot, and like I said, I look forward to the new projects. And you did tell me you had the one single on this. What was that? Planet Asia, and that's who I was trying to think of. Was Planet Asia, and the Mussolini. You said you had a track on there.
The title track, Pharaoh Chain, and shout out to Planet Asia, Mussolini. But when we're talking about duos, Planet Asia and Dirty Diggs, that's like, it's not a duo because they're like 3 producers now. But like when we're talking about like a producer rapper collaboration that's killing it right now, shout out to Dirty Diggs and Planet Asia. Me and Planet Asia got some shit coming too, by the way.
That's what I wanted to hear. I was getting those 3 right there. Planet Asia, Ito, Willie the Kid, I guess Bodie too. Those were all kind of guys that maybe in late March, as I started riding my bike and getting out, doing some stuff, trying to get some exercise in. It's like every week I tapped into some new dude and was like, man, where are these dudes come from? And those, like I said, I had seen Planet Asia's name around. I had seen Anchovies and different things, but I was just, glad that I had enough. I guess the world slowed down enough for me to press play on a lot of stuff that I had been missing the last 2 years.
Yeah, fucking Asia's a legend, man. Asia's been doing it for 20 plus years now. He's got tracks with Ghostface. He's got tracks with Linkin Park. He's got tracks with like huge names. He's legendary. He's actually the first one, I think. Him and Jizza were the first dudes to do a collaborative album with like the Versus albums with DJ Muggs. He had one in like 2009. I've been a fan of Asia, man. Asia's like legendary to me, and he's a friend, man. I fuck with Asia heavy.
Okay, all right.
And me and Asia have like clicked up like at least 4 times in New York and LA and shit.
Okay. Hey, well, man, I appreciate your time, man. Like I said, this whole here with director's cut, scene 1, 2, 3, crime scenes, deleted scenes. That's all been the kind of the soundtrack of 2020 for me, and just looking forward to what's coming down the pipe, man.
More great fucking music from me and Ransom is for sure.
Got you. All right, man, I'll let you get on out of here. Like I said, thanks for your time.
Thank you, man.
All right, so didn't get a lot of live viewers in here for the interview and whatnot, but definitely I'm over the moon, to talk about to be able to get some behind the scenes thoughts and some insight on how this project came together. I think I'd either tap on an article that I put out there, kind of my way of trying to promote hip hop and whatnot. And, he responded to it. And, sometimes you do some work, not for people, but you want people to know about things. and the artist or the producer or whatever, you know, they don't even acknowledge it, and it's like, damn. But you know, he was kind enough, thoughtful enough to say a thank you of sorts, and I appreciated it. And then you know, we were able to get together, and you know, he came on to the show. So that was dope, very dope of him. But I'm gonna get on off of here. We'll see. You know, you send out 20 requests for interviews. Man, who am I kidding? You send out 100 requests for interviews before you get one yes. And then even after you get a yes, it takes some you know, some massaging to actually get it to happen. But anyway, I'm out. Actually, I'm gonna go out with I was playing some of his yeah, get back into that before I get on off here. Baby, no mind, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. Peace. Drums on this. A little head nod.